Hi, I'm Dr. Anthony Raimundo. This is my solarium, and if you like this message on dialogue with prayer, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up, a like, whatever. But here's what I want to talk to you about briefly. Most people pray to God. They pray. Now, prayer is kind of like a text message that goes out and you don't get one back, or a letter that you mail and you don't get a response, which in theater we call that a monologue. You spoke and that was it. But I'm here to tell you about dialogue. A dialogue is when you speak to God and God speaks back to you. Now, in the Bible, we know that Solomon, when he was selected to become king, he prays to God and he asks God to give him wisdom to rule his people. And God replies by saying, because you didn't ask me for wealth and power, but for wisdom, I will grant it to you. So you see, that was a dialogue. Solomon spoke and God answered. Now the situation is, how do you put your ears on, or how do you make that phone call that permits you to have a dialogue with God? Well, first of all, in Psalm 46:10, we read, "Be still and know that I am God." So one of the first things you have to do is you got to be still. You have to sort of like tune out everything so that you're in a position to hear. Now, how do you know that God's speaking to you? Well, basically, there are three voices going on in your head all the time. Pretty much. One voice is actually your conscious mind talking to you when you think. When you think, there's a dialogue, there's a monitor, there's a narrative, there's a monologue going on in your head, speaking back to you, because you're thinking. Now, when the enemy speaks to you, you know right away who that guy is, because his voice tells you to do something you shouldn't be doing. The enemy leads you into temptation. He will say, "Oh, you really don't want to go to work today. Take a day off." Or, "You don't need to do homework right now. You can put it off. You don't have to do that. You could do it, just before you got to go back to class." Or, "Hey, you want to do some drugs, man? Make you feel good." That's temptation. Now, God never tempts. And he doesn't explain anything. Basically, he doesn't get into explanation. When you hear God's voice, God might say something to you like, "Move over." You drive in a car and God says, move to the middle lane. That's it. He doesn't say anything else. He just says, move to the middle lane. Now, if you don't move to the middle lane, something that happened to me is a rock hits your windshield. Now, had I moved to the middle lane, the rock wouldn't have hit my windshield, because God gave me a warning. Now, the next time God gave me a warning, I listened. So in order to get in that kind of a situation, you have to have your ears on. You have to be able to hear God speak to you. So you want to generate a dialogue. Now you see this room with the plants. I was talking to God just a couple of days ago about maybe, rearranging this room, and how about some pointers on where I should put what plant? And he gave me the instructions. What about if you're a college student and you're studying and maybe you're having a little difficulty and you say, God, I'm having a little difficulty with this passage, or I'm having a little difficulty with this math problem. Can you give me any insight? Because you want to be in a dialogue. Now, to do that, you got to always be listening, and you have to always be in a relationship. So I'd like you to take some time to put your ears on, to listen. Listen to the three types of voices that could possibly be in your mind, in your head. You, the temptation voice, and the voice of guidance and warning. Until next time, I'm Dr. Raymundo. I hope you got some information from this. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. God bless, and have a great day.